Hi, my name is Lauren Schmidt, and I am doing my presentation on the movie called Lifted. A little bit about the culture. So, the main character, Uriah Shelton, who in the movie plays as Henry, is very music orientated. It doesn't say much about his culture, but he is a young boy who goes to school and gets bullied a lot. He is an amazing singer whose family life is messed up when his father is redeployed to Afghanistan. He goes through many obstacles to compete in a teen singing competition. He is very dedicated to his singing and music. Perception. Narrative perception is when a movie is supposed to tell a story. In the movie Lifted, there is a story being told. It tells a story about a young boy named Henry who is living a troubled life when his dad gets deployed to Afghanistan and his mom is not able to afford the mortgage on the house, so him and his mom have to go live at his dad's house, and he does not like Henry's music, so he beats Henry every time he plays music, and he does not like the way Henry dresses, so his grandpa yells at him a lot and beats him, and his mom ends up doing drugs again when she promised Henry and his father that she would stop using, and she was actually going to meetings and she stopped going to use drugs. So when his life was falling apart, he turned to music. He met somebody at a church who gave him a flyer about a singing competition. So he ran away by himself to go compete in the singing competition because music is the only thing that makes him happy. I think this movie tells a pretty sad story, but I really like the movie. Perception of self. I think throughout the movie, Henry's self-perception is like a big wave. At the beginning of the movie, he is very happy, he's very comfortable with life. Besides getting bullied, he was living a good life with his mom and his dad, and they had a house and a car, and him and his dad sang a lot together, and his mom was going to her AA meetings. But then in the middle of the movie, his dad gets redeployed to Afghanistan. So he gets pretty sad and lonely without his dad because they always worked on music together, and when his dad was not there, they couldn't do that as much. Then at the end, he gets pretty happy again because he found out about the singing competition, and when he's at the competition, he thinks that his dad is there with him. So he gets really happy and he sings and he has a great time at the competition. And then towards the end of the competition, right before the finals, his mom shows up and she was yelling at the people who are in charge of the competition because he was doing this whole competition without any parent. And Henry was like, "What are you talking about? My dad's here with me." And his mom told him that his dad died a couple months ago. So then he gets really sad again. But I think for the main part, he is pretty satisfied with life when he has his music and, when he's making music. I think he's pretty satisfied. Listening. In the movie Lifted, there are many scenes that have to do with good and bad listening skills. A scene that I like the most about listening skills is when Henry finds out his dad is going back to Afghanistan. He gets really mad and he runs into his room and he cries and he starts playing his piano and going on the computer, and he made a song. And a couple minutes later, his dad walks in the room and he, apologizes that he has to go back to Afghanistan. And Henry goes, "Oh, well, I made a song." And William was like, "Okay, let's hear it." So he sings him the song, and then his dad, jumps in and does a little rap beat in the middle of the song. And then at the end of the song, his dad, tells him what he should do about the song to make it better and what beats to use. And he tells him, like, just tries to help him make the song better. So Henry always listens to his father when he talks about music, and gives him advice about his songs or his beats or whatever. So they have really good listening skills together. So yeah, I think that was a good scene for listening skills. Verbal messages. When William was away in Afghanistan, he got to call Henry on the phone and talk to him. So one time when they were on the phone together, they had a little time and they made a song together. And Henry sang his part, and then his dad jumped in the middle of the song and did his little rapping, and then they finished the song. And I thought that was really cool because although he was really far away from Henry, they still verbally got to talk and send messages and still make a song together, because they always were really good with music together. They were like music buddies, I don't know. So I thought that was pretty cool that they could still sing together even though they were states away. And nonverbal messages. There are a few examples of nonverbal messages in the movie, but the main one I will talk about is when Henry was at the competition. He thought his dad was there with him the whole time. When one time when Henry had came home from school, and that was the day that he found out about the competition from the pastor at the church. That day when he had came home, his father called him on the phone, and Henry was like, "Hey Dad, guess what? Pastor just told me about this singing competition. It's next month, I really want to go, 'cause if you win, you get money and whatever." And his father told him, he's like, "I'll be there with you. I'll be there with you when you sing in the competition." And so when he got to the competition, he ran away from the house by himself. So he thought he was gonna be there all alone. But his dad showed up, and so the whole time he thought his dad was there, and his dad was like telling him what songs to sing and all that. And Henry was on stage, and he was always looking at his dad, and his dad was giving him a thumbs up and helping him throughout the whole competition. And later on, towards the very end of the competition, when he got to the finals, his mom came and told him that his dad was not really there and that his dad had died a few months back. So I think that was like a nonverbal message, because his dad wasn't really there. His spirit was, kind of. But the whole time, just because Henry and his dad were so close with music, he thought his dad was there really helping him out with the music and whatnot. But his dad really wasn't there. So I think that's like a nonverbal message, because he wasn't really there, so it wasn't really verbal, but you know, his spirit was, and Henry did a wonderful job when he thought his dad was there. Emotional and conversational messages. I think the emotional message in this movie would be during the singing competition, like I just talked about, when Henry's mom showed up right before the finals and told him that his father was not there with him and that he had died a few months ago. He had got shot back in Afghanistan when he was deployed. And I think that was a very emotional scene because the whole time, you know, Henry thought that his father was there helping him with his music, and Henry was just so happy because on the phone that day when his dad has called, his dad told him, like, I will be there with you and we'll do the singing competition together. So Henry really thought that his dad was there helping him through the competition, and when he found out that his dad really wasn't, you know, that was very emotional for him, and he was gonna back out of the competition and he was not gonna go forward. But one of his dad's friend was watching TV and seeing all about what happened because Henry had told him that he backed out. So they had it on the TV or whatever that he had backed out because his dad was not there or whatever. So when the friend had seen that, the friend was, you know, in Afghanistan with his dad. So when he had seen that his dad was not there with him, he decided to go and help him out. And you know, he told Henry, like, yes, I'm your father's friend, we were in Afghanistan together, I was there when he, you know, got shot. And William's friend really helped him through the whole competition, going to the finals. So he completed it and he won it. So I thought that was a pretty emotional scene. Interpersonal power and influence. I think William had a lot of power and influence on Henry because that was his father, and Henry was bullied a lot at school, so he didn't have any friends. So I could say that his dad was probably like one of his really good friends as well. And you know, they also were like musician buddies because they sang together and they made all these songs together, and I just think they had a really close relationship. So I think he had a lot of influence on Henry. And then these are my sources. Thank you.